Joshi. Let me first tell you what is the top focus at 5. I.N.D.I.A leaders are on an anti-Sanatan tirade. The latest to join the bandwagon is Kamal, Haasan, who says only education can break Sanatan shackles. The BJP, of course, has hit back at Kamal Haasan, asking him and challenging him to speak on other religions as well. Next in Deep Dive, we'll talk about the Spice Jet assault gate. An assault, a CCTV footage and 3 versions. Army officer booked over the assault gate. What led to the confrontation? We'll break down the details for you. And in Janata's take, the AI-edited ending of movie Ranjana has sparked outrage. Dhanush, the actor, has slammed re-release. He says this has stripped the movie of its soul. What is your view? What do you think? We'll tell you about that. Let's get you all the stories in detail. So the saffron terror lobby fell on its face last week when an N.I.A. court acquitted all 7 accused, including Lieutenant Colonel Purohit and Pragya Thakur in the Malegaon blasts case. It was a slap on the face of all those who tried linking terror to Hindu religion. But the opposition has found a new weapon to target the entire community. They are now targeting the Sanatan Dharma. M&M chief and Rajya Sabha MP Kamal Haasan has joined the long list of netas who have been spewing venom against Sanatan. Addressing the crowd, the actor turned neta, who is known for his tirade against Hindu practices, said education is the most potent tool to defeat Sanatan. Let's first listen into that statement.
அந்த கல்வி இந்த போரில் ஆயுதமின்றி நாட்டையே செதுக்க வல்லது. இது சர்வாதிகார சங்கிலிகளை, சனாதன சங்கிலிகளை எல்லாம் நொறுக்கி தள்ளக்கூடிய ஒரே ஆயுதம் இதுதான். இதை தவிர வேற எதையும் கையில எடுக்காதீங்க. அதுல வெல்ல முடியாது. ஏன்னா பெரும்பான்மை தோற்கடிச்சிருவாங்க. பெரும்பான்மை மூடர்கள் தோற்கடிச்சிருவாங்க. அறிவு தோத்து போயிடும்.
Well, this is not the first time, and Kamal Haasan is not the only one. Before Kamal Haasan, Congress and its allies too openly expressed their hate for Sanatani ideology. Prithviraj Chavan began the tirade by saying there is nothing like Bhagwa terror and instead it should be called Sanatani terror. Then there was NCP Sharad Pawar camp's Jitendra Awhad. His rant against Sanatan included calling the ideology perverse.
सनातन धर्माने भारताचं वाटोळं केलं. सनातन धर्म नावाचा धर्मच नव्हता. आम्ही हिंदू धर्माला मानणारे आहोत. ज्या सनातन धर्माने आमच्या शिवरायांना राज्याभिषेक नाकारला, ज्या सनातन धर्मियांनी आम्हाला आमच्या छत्रपती संभाजींना बदनाम करून टाकलं, ज्या सनातन धर्मियांनी महात्मा फुलेंना मारण्याचा, खून करण्याचा प्रयत्न, डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकरांनी सनातन धर्माविरुद्ध पाऊल टाकत आणि त्यांच्यामुळे बदनाम झालेल्या हिंदू धर्माच्या याच्यात, त्यामुळे सनातन धर्म आणि हे सनातनी विकृत आहेत हे म्हणायला कोणीच घाबरलं नाही पाहिजे.
भगवा जो है वो छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज का झंडा था, जो कि एक स्वतंत्रता का प्रतीक है. अगर आपको किसी धर्म का नाम लें तो हिंदू टेरर कहिए, हिंदू फंडामेंटलिस्ट टेरर कहिए, सनातनी टेरर कहिए, लेकिन भगवा न कहिए.
Let's open this up. Let's go across to our guests. We're joined by Shina NC spokesperson of Shiv Sena, C. Rajashekharan, advocate and political analyst, and Anish Gawande, national spokesperson of the NCP-SP. I want to first begin with you, Anish. The BJP says that Sanatan is a soft target because the opposition parties are only eyeing the vote bank. Bharatiya Janata Party leaders have also challenged the leaders of the opposition camp to say such things about other religions as well. Will the opposition and its leaders accept that challenge, or is this only reserved for Sanatan, they ask?
Swati, firstly, thank you for having me on your show. And I really wish we weren't here debating this topic, because quite honestly, in my personal opinion and my party's opinion, the role of a political party is to have a party line on ideology, on policy, on development, and not on issues like whether Sanatan Dharma is right or Hinduism is right, or whether we should be attacking one religion or another. So that is the fundamental point that we bring to the table here. Right? The bigger question, however, is that when you are in a democratic country, individuals have the freedom to critique anything according to what they think is wrong in the country. Multiple times over, from Udayanidhi Stalin to Jitendra Awhad ji, leaders have clarified that when they use the term Sanatan, they are referring to a very particular strand of political Hinduism that is being used currently in the country to divide along the lines of caste, class, religion, and creed. Let me remind you that this was the same definition used by none other than Baba Sahib Ambedkar when he critiqued Sanatan Dharma. Now, there have been multiple points of view on this issue for centuries in this country. And multiple leaders have clarified time and again that Hinduism does not teach us to deny water to those who've previously been called untouchables. Hinduism does not teach us to say that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj cannot get coronated. Hinduism does not teach us to divide people along religious lines. But when that Hinduism is translated into a political ideology that's used to divide, then we must all speak out in one voice against it.
Right. Now, Anish, the argument here is that pointing out a flaw or criticizing is understandable. Everybody has a right to do that. But to equate that to diseases, but to say you can, go ahead and call it Sanatani terror, is that acceptable? Or to say that, education is a weapon that will break shackles of Sanatan? Aren't all these statements being very conveniently used? You didn't answer my question that I asked you earlier. Will that same stand be taken against ills in other religions? Why don't we hear politicians doing that? BJP says this is your strategy, political vote bank.
But we hear that being said about other religions all the time, right? We hear that for Christians who are called rise-back converts. We hear that for Muslims who are called words that I won't use on national television by members of parliament from the BJP. We use that word for Buddhists who are called by very, very derogatory terms in our national discourse. And so let us not for 1 minute think that these words are only reserved for one particular religion, right? More importantly, I want to ask, what is the universally defined definition of Sanatan? The reality is, I come from a Maharashtra where a Sanatan Sanstha has been responsible for the murder of progressives from Gauri Lankesh to Narendra Dabholkar, right? That Sanatan Sanstha, Sanatan, is what I'm against. Is what Jitendra Awhad is against.
Shaina NC wants to come in. Shaina NC, this is not vote bank politics. This is just highlighting flaws. This is just criticizing. It's not for vote bank.
Well, my friend Anish has not understood what Kamal Haasan has said, because if he did, he would not comment the way he chose to. Education is a key tool to fight dictatorship and rigid caste hierarchies associated with the Sanatan Dharma. I mean, what is he talking about? He is talking about, how education alone can empower society. Absolutely agree. But does that mean that to change unjust laws, warning and relying on majority opinion without education leads to defeat? Where is all this thought process come from? Mr. Haasan went on, and let's not forget, during the NEET exams in 2017, since its inception, he has disproportionately denied underprivileged and rural students. He has said all kinds of things about social inequalities. He has talked about public investment in education. He's been constantly critiquing everything that the government does. So I don't doubt his jaundiced eyes, but I definitely want to say his critique of the Sanatan Dharma and targeting the traditional hierarchical aspects is shocking, which in Tamil Nadu are often related to caste oppression. But this comparison has raised not just a stir, but I think it has stressed on how we as a society who believe in unity, who believe in non-violence, will continue to champion and champion the cause of the Sanatan Dharma. And look at Mr. Jitendra Awhad, who says that the Sanatan Dharma has ruined India.
Yes.
And he goes on to say that, derogatory and disrespectful statements by the majority culture. What majority culture is he talking about? We are proud that we are all Hindus in this country, and we are not apologetic about it any further. And if you have constantly, appeasement politics at the back of your mind, where you will treat Islam and Muslims very, very tolerantly, and when it comes to any kind of statement about Hinduism, you may go to the extent of using words like Hindu terror or Sanatan terrorists. Where has this
no clarification has come on that. No apologies, no clarification on the term saffron terror that was coined. We have Mrs. Rajeshekaran as well on the broadcast. Mrs. Rajeshekaran, Kamal Haasan has not said this for the first time. The allegation is that now he is just following DMK's playbook. That's it.
Swati, good evening. See, I'm not going to praise Kamal Haasan, neither I'm going to demean whatever he has said. See, fact of the matter is, last 10 years, since 2014, till date, I'm only hearing about all this Sanatan Dharma, caste, upper caste, lower caste, we should not enter this temple, all this stuff. Even when Ram temple was inaugurated, you know, if you just recap, even the Rashtrapati was not allowed inside. So all this put in a nutshell.
Rashtrapati was not allowed inside the temple?
No, during the inauguration. I'm talking about the inauguration.
Invitation was sent to the Rashtrapati.
No.
What do you mean by the Rashtrapati was not allowed inside the temple?
Please allow me. I'm telling you. There is an area where you are not allowed beyond that in every temple. This happens. All this, I just see or witness in the last 10 years. See, this is what Kamal Haasan is telling. Kamal Haasan is speaking. See, let us not confuse our mind by saying that Sanatan is majority.
No, Mr. Rajashekar, if that discrimination is happening, it is wrong, and there are laws. There are laws to keep that in check. But you know, every single time a question is asked, politicians, after making controversial statements, hide behind. You know, we were just trying to point out a flaw. We are not talking about the entire dharma. We're just pointing out one flaw. That's the basic standard defense.
Please allow me.
Go ahead.
Allow me, let me finish. Please allow me, let me finish. See, here the problem is you don't know Hindu makes any Sanatan statement. It is only the Hindutva group, the group which encashes this ideology for their political benefits. The group which rules the country in the name of Sanatan wants to maintain that tempo by saying that Sanatan is majority. No, the majority people are moderate, secular-minded, and
then why don't be specific in your statements while criticizing your political opponents? Name them. Say that political parties are using Sanatan Dharma or Hindu religion, or in the name of Hindutva they are doing this. When making statements, Mr. Rajashekharan, the politicians have to be mindful of that. But we don't hear them making that distinction. We don't hear politicians making that distinction, Mr. Rajashekharan.
That is the whole behind it. The whole idea behind it is that. See, the BJP, which is milking this Sanatan Dharma ideology to be in power. No other party is speaking about Sanatan Dharma because everybody is equal. That is the ideology of all the parties except BJP. The other political parties, even the majority people of this country, treat every next person.
Yes, but when such statements are made, without any distinction, without calling out the political opponents that you actually intend to, now that this controversial statement has been made and the defense coming in is that they are specifically talking about a political party or political opponents, you are maligning the entire dharma. You are maligning the entire dharma and everybody who follows it. China NC.
Yeah. I just want to say that, you know, Mr. Kamal Haasan, if you look at his whole track record, even him opposing the NEET national eligibility come entrance test right from 2017 has been suspect. On the one hand, he says that, education will sort out all social inequalities. Then he opposes anything which comes from the center. And this has been a standard practice. So I think that, you know, anybody who knows him or his track record does know that he is not here to talk about unjust laws or transform society. He has his own agenda, and his agenda under the garb of social justice is only to oppose the central government. Now, for all those Sanatan Dharma critiques, I just want to say, what does Sanatan Dharma mean in Tamil Nadu? Is it seen as upholding caste-based inequalities, or has his statement talked about correction when it comes to forms of oppression? He hasn't highlighted that. So I only want to say our government is here to stand for the poorest of poor, to stand for people in different thought processes, to stand for the Labhartis, to stand for people who believe in Hindutva, to stand for people who believe in Sanatan Dharma, and we don't believe that knowledge will lose its hand, or people will be less educated if they stand together. So every time you have this mindset of trying to spread a false narrative, these urban Naxals fail, because they make it out to be as if there is some kind of dictatorship, which, if at all, the Sanatan Dharma is against. It stands for uniting every segment of society.
All right, Shana, I want to bring in Anish very quickly before I wrap up. Anish, you said that you hoped that we would not be discussing this, but very cleverly politicians rake up such issues. Why do the politicians rake up these issues if not for vote bank? What else? Why link Sanatan to illiteracy? Why link it to terrorism when the opposition netas today say, terror has no religion and color? Why do they conveniently forget that when bringing these two terms, Sanatan and terror, together, or to say education is the biggest weapon that will break the chains of Sanatan?
Swati, you have to also remember that on the other side, there are statements like terrorism ka rang hota hai that are made constantly. On the other side, there are always insinuations that terror is affiliated to a religion. And we've consistently and constantly maintained that terror has no religion, at least with the NCP-SP. If it comes down to vote bank politics today, please tell me why a political party would rake up an issue 4 years before the next election if it was about a vote bank. Let's remember that in this country, we've had a long tradition of disagreeing with each other. I just mentioned to you Narendra Dabholkar. He was an atheist against all religions. Look how he ended up. Today, if we are seeing critique of anything in a religion or any sort of aspects of a religion as complete anathema, then we have to speak out against it. And let me just say one thing. Unfortunately, the convenient buck stops nowhere when it comes to definitions. The BJP in the past has made the distinction saying Hindutva is not Hinduism. They are trying to make the same distinction today, saying that Sanatan is equal to Hinduism. I grew up a Hindu. I did not think Sanatan equals Hinduism, and everyone has the right. Some people might think that Sanatan is equal to Hinduism. Some people might think that a Sanatani ideology, the same ideology followed by the Sanatan Samstha that was responsible for the murder of Gauri Lankesh, is part and parcel of the problem.
Right, Anish, you demolish and destroy your own argument when you say that, everybody has a right to criticize, when you say terror has no religion or color, and then you don't see the crime for what it is, but the religion or the affiliation of the criminals. That's where the problem arises. Shaina NC, Anish and Mr. Rajashekharan, thank you very much for joining us.